Fools Rush In is the second episode of the second season of All Grown Up. I don't mind this episode, I don't love it. There are definitely some good moments in it. And the main narrative focuses on Tommy and also Dill, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But we also have a subplot with Angelica, who's got this website or this blog called Ask Angelica. And the plan is for people to write in with problems and she'll answer them. And it seems to be going quite well, but then she realizes that if she posts embarrassing things about her peers, about the other students, she can get a lot more hits. And this is something that she starts to do. And needless to say, not everybody is pleased with her. I think there are some important lessons there about morals and not doing things just for views, just for hits. When this first aired, according to IMDb 2004, the internet wasn't what it is today. And I think the extent of what we had then was maybe Bebo and MySpace. Social media definitely wasn't as terrifying a place as it is today. But even then, that was still relevant. But I think even more so today, with people becoming younger and younger when they join social media, I think there are some really important lessons there about the kind of content that you maybe shouldn't upload, especially just for views, because some things are more important. The other part of the narrative, and the main part, focuses on the fact that this girl called Francine is bullying Tommy. And he doesn't know why. And some of the characters have theories about why she's bullying him. I won't say what they are, I won't ruin it. But it's very unclear, and I kind of like that mystery element of trying to work out what was going on, why she was treating him so badly. And I like the reason in the sense that it wasn't predictable, I hadn't expected it. But at the same time, the reason felt like things were getting a bit repetitive. And I'll discuss what I mean by that with a spoiler warning in a moment. But there are some really good lessons there, of course, about not bullying people, but even more so, we have a really moving look at what it means to be a sibling, because Dill keeps trying to help Tommy whenever he thinks he's going to be bullied or hurt or something bad's going to happen, but Dill keeps getting things wrong, and he keeps getting in the way unintentionally. And we have some really interesting interviews with Stu and Phil and Lil and other characters explaining what it's like to be a sibling, and I thought that was really moving and a really nice idea, and definitely helped to give another layer, just something a little bit extra to make the episode a bit more meaningful, and I guess for some people a little bit more relatable. So there's nothing wrong with the episode as such, but it is not one of my personal favourites. I actually think I preferred the story with Angelica, or the narrative focusing on Angelica, rather than on Tommy. But in general, I didn't dislike any of it. It's just not a personal favourite. So, I guess a big spoiler from now is I'm going to discuss very briefly why Francine was being horrible to Tommy, and why I feel like things were getting a bit repetitive. So, spoilers from now, the reason that she was being horrible to him is because she was supposed to have a part in one of his films, and he had to cut her scene, which is fair enough, it happens. And she was distraught, heartbroken, devastated, and very annoyed. So she was getting her revenge. And the reason I feel like this is a bit repetitive is that it seems like a lot of All Grown Up is about Tommy and his filmmaking. And in part, that's interesting, absolutely. But I feel like it seems like almost every episode now focuses either on Tommy's career and where it's going, or problems surrounding his filmmaking, or even just with him filming things. And that itself is not so bad, but when it's one thing after another, it gets a bit repetitive, and I feel like we need some other characters to get a bit of attention for a change, or to have a story revolving around Tommy that doesn't focus on his filmmaking or his relationship with Dill. There's more to Tommy's life than those two things. But we do have many episodes of All Grown Up left, so hopefully we've got a bit more variety going forward. Fools Rush In, not a bad episode at all. Some really good moments, but it's not a personal favourite.